Ck3 succession is known to be a very messy thing. Somewhat year-old son. So today I'm gonna teach you about it, so you don't have to restart the game every time you die. Also, you should subscribe to see more videos like this.
Rich people shit, gazillionaire shit. If you had a lot of money, what would you do with it?
By far the worst of these is the normal partition. And that's because it forces your hand into splitting, as it creates titles that were not previously created. Let's say you control 3 kingdoms, but you don't actually have the titles, you only have a title of one of these. And you have 3 children. So what the game does is that it creates the other 2 kingdoms so that it could give them to the 2 children. You will get your capital and your primary title, but everything else will be split between your other children equally. Confederate partition is somewhat better, as it doesn't create titles that don't already exist. But in every other way it's the same as normal partition, and Confederate partition is the most common in the game. By far the best of the partition brothers is high partition, because it gives you your primary title and everything within it. Everything. Every county, every duchy you hold within it, everything goes to your primary heir, with everything outside it being divided equally amongst other children.
I said stroke 40 guys and 2 big fags, babies all on my teeth. You can go in my jaw, grab them balls, stroke that BBC.
Starting with ultimogeniture, as ultimogeniture is very rare in the game. It makes your youngest child your heir. It's good if when your ruler dies you want a young new ruler. Next is house seniority, which is also very rare, and most importantly it's used by the West Slavs. It's available pretty early, one of the earliest times you can get a singular inheritor succession type. And what it does is that the oldest member of your dynasty inherits, which mostly results, unless it's at the start of your game, in your empire being ruled by 60-year-olds. Which, if you don't like skipping from one ruler to another very quickly, then it's gonna be tough. And the last is of course primogeniture. It's just the best succession type. It gives your lands to your oldest child. It gives them all to him. It's just the best. There's no other way of saying it. It's clean and it's the most likely to result in a capable yet pretty young heir ending up as your new ruler. Clan succession is either with a single heir or more. The ones with single heir are the same as anywhere else: ultimogeniture, primogeniture and seniority. However, instead of partition you have how harmonious the succession is. And yes, it is linked to how united your house is. It goes from antagonistic to harmonious, and as it goes that way it gives more and more to your selected heir. Which is why I, for myself, prefer to keep my house unity at friendly but not harmonious, because that forbids holy wars and things like that. Now here's where the real fun starts. You can of course murder your children to get them out of the succession line and make your realm not split. Of course you can do that if you're sadistic, but you can also just imprison and execute them. However, that gives you tyranny and lowers your legitimacy by a lot. So you can only do that when you are at the brink of death, you are sure to die. You can also just disinherit someone, however that costs a lot of legitimacy. And legitimacy is... I don't like legitimacy at all, how it functions. However, it helps you if you have enough of it to keep your realm stable, and if you don't, then it makes your realm unstable, so you have to keep it high. And disinheriting costs a lot. You can use elective succession, but that can get out of hand if you can't control your vassals properly, or if you don't have the correct type of succession. The Ck3 is famously very fickle with this. And you can designate heir, but that in partition does only that it switches people on the line of succession. It doesn't change how much your lands will split. And you need crown authority on the highest level for that. I have a trick to show you with this. Let's look at my game as Bohemia here. Bohemia at the start of the game, even more since the tribal age, together with the Slovene culture, has the innovation available Table of Princes, which allows house seniority. And house seniority is a very weird succession type. It's quite unique, really. So unique that the developers probably didn't think of this, really. Because if you get to absolute crown authority, which you get from royal prerogative, you can designate your heir. But you can only designate as an heir your own children, not anyone else from your house. So while everything is inherited to the same person, there's no way this land is split through succession. And you see now it even goes to the Kaiser of the Holy Roman Empire, as he's the oldest one in the house. However, I can circumvent that. I just can point at my son here, who's quick, or at my other son here, who's robust, and I can just say, no, this one is my heir. And it's basically my own an elective primogeniture, where I just choose who's my heir, and only heir. He's now above everyone else. Now I would still prefer normal primogeniture over this, but house seniority is available in the starting date. It's available always, because it's historical. That's how in Bohemia works. And it's a great trick if you wanna have a unified succession.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Now I have mostly shown you some basics, and that succession is not some overcomplicated thing. It's quite easy to navigate through, and now you should at least somewhat know how. If you like the video, then subscribe and share it to others who don't know how succession works.